All right, everyone is talking about AI jobs, right? But what are the skills that actually get you in the door? We dug through hundreds, literally hundreds of job postings to find out what's really driving the AI market. And I'll give you a little spoiler. It's probably not what you think. So let's just jump right into the numbers.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about the money. Right now, if you've got the right AI skills, you are looking at a massive 56% wage premium. But get this, a year ago, that number was 25%. It has more than doubled in just a single year. That's just wild.
So, why the huge jump in pay? Well, it's classic supply and demand, really. For every one single qualified AI candidate out there today, there are 3.2 open jobs just waiting for them. The demand is absolutely off the charts. And this isn't some small niche trend. The number of jobs that require genuine AI fluency, it's exploded. We're talking sevenfold in just the past 2 years. That's a jump from around 1 million roles to 7 million. The entire market is basically reshaping itself as we speak. So you're seeing these numbers, you're seeing the demand, and you're probably thinking, okay, I get it. I just need to get really, really good at writing prompts for ChatGPT. That's the secret sauce, right? That's the golden ticket. Well, think again. Look, prompting is a good start for sure, but it is not even close to the whole story. The skills that companies are actually paying top dollar for are way deeper, much more about operations, and a whole lot more valuable. So to really get what's happening here, you have to understand that AI is creating this really sharp divide in the job market. You know that old saying, a rising tide lifts all boats? Well, that's not what's happening. It's creating a major split. And this right here, this is what we're calling the K-shaped split. It's a perfect visual. On that top arm of the K, you've got these surging roles: AI and machine learning engineers, MLOps folks who basically get AI models working in the real world, and something called context architects. But then on that bottom arm, you see demand for more traditional jobs just flattening out or even dropping. The takeaway here is pretty stark. You really, really want to be on the right side of that split.
Okay, so the big question is, how do you get onto that top half of the K? How do you get on that upward path? Well, it boils down to mastering 7 very specific, very operational skills. And these are the skills that we saw again and again and again in almost every single job post we looked at. These are basically the keys to the kingdom.
And here they are: specification, precision, evaluation and quality, task decomposition, failure pattern recognition, trust and security, context architecture, and finally, token economics. Now, don't think of this as just a random list. It's more like a complete toolkit, a whole competency stack for anyone who wants to work with AI professionally.
All right, let's break these down one by one. First up, specification precision. The best way to think about this is it's like prompting but on steroids. See, when you talk to another person, you can be a little vague, right? They'll get the gist. But with an AI agent, ambiguity is absolutely fatal. You're not just asking a question anymore. You're basically writing a contract with a machine, and that contract needs super explicit context and really clear, measurable ways to know if it succeeded.
Next up is evaluation and quality judgment. And listen to this. This was the single most cited skill we found. Here's why. An AI can give you an answer that sounds brilliant, super confident, perfectly written, and be completely, utterly wrong. This skill is all about building the systems, whether that's automated or human, to tell the difference. It's about checking if the AI's output is not just fluent, but actually correct and useful.
Okay, skill number 3 is task decomposition. Now, as we start using not just one AI, but whole teams of AI agents, you need somebody to be the orchestra conductor. That's what this is. It's the ability to take a huge, complicated goal and break it down into smaller, neat, well-defined tasks, and then give each task to the right AI agent for the job. It's basically project management, but for a team of autonomous systems.
And of course, AI is going to fail. It just is. The fourth skill is all about recognizing how it fails. Now, take a look at this list, but pay special attention to that last one: silent failure. This is by far the most dangerous kind. It's when the AI gives you something that looks absolutely perfect on the surface, but underneath it's completely broken. And being the person who can spot that, that's a critical and incredibly rare talent.
Which leads us right into skill number 5, trust and security design. And this isn't just about traditional cybersecurity, hackers and stuff. This is about building guardrails for the AI's own behavior. You have to be able to ask, what's the blast radius if this thing goes wrong? You have to define exactly what it's allowed to do. And you absolutely have to build in automatic circuit breakers, so if it starts going off the rails, it shuts itself down.
Skill number 6 is context architecture, and I just love this quote because it's perfect. It's like building a Dewey Decimal System for agents. Think about it. For an AI to do its job, it needs the right information. This skill is about designing that information supply chain, the library that feeds the AI. It's about structuring all that data so the agent can find precisely what it needs, when it needs it. And, just as importantly, doesn't see the stuff it shouldn't.
And finally, we have skill number 7, token economics. Let's be real, running these powerful AI models is not cheap. It can get really expensive fast. This skill is all about managing that cost. And just look at these numbers. By being smart about it, like routing simpler tasks to cheaper models or using a plan and execute approach, you can cut your costs by 80, even 90%. This isn't some minor technical tweak. This is a fundamental business skill now. Okay, so there they are, the 7 essential skills. Which brings us to the next really big question. If these are so important, why are they so rare? Why is there this massive skills gap in the market? Well, for one thing, these aren't just skills for the engineers. And this table shows you exactly why. Just look at how these competencies stretch across all these different roles. Evaluation, for example, is critical for engineering, but also for operations and product. And who's responsible for token economics? Leadership. This is a truly cross-functional set of skills. And here's the other big problem. Pretty much no one is teaching this stuff as a complete package. Universities, they teach the theory, but they're always lagging a couple of years behind. Those online boot camps, they'll teach you prompting, sure, but they totally miss that crucial evaluation piece. And corporate training tends to focus on one specific tool, not the broad judgment you need to use it well. The whole training pipeline is basically broken. Okay, so let's recap. The demand is massive, the skills are very, very specific, and our usual ways of training people just aren't cutting it. So what can you, or maybe your organization, actually do about all this? Here's a straightforward 5-step action plan, especially for leaders. First, you have to audit your team. See where you stand on these 7 skills and be brutally honest about your weak spots. Second, when you hire for evaluation first. Then you need to build out actual teams or functions for context architecture and token economics. And finally, and this is a big one, leadership has to take total 100% accountability for everything the AI system puts out. You know, I want to double click on that second point for a second, because this quote just says it all. Without people who are excellent at evaluation, you are essentially deploying an AI with no immune system. It might look perfectly healthy from the outside, but it's completely vulnerable to those silent failures we talked about, the ones that can do real serious damage. So let's kind of bring this all home. This quote from the analysis we looked at really nails it. These 7 skills, these are the things that make the difference between an AI project that actually works and one that ends up on the scrap heap after 6 months. And the simple truth is, almost nobody has all 7. Which really just leaves one final question for you to think about. Your organization, I'm sure, is investing in AI. They're buying the tools, the platforms, all of it. But are they investing in the right skills? Are they investing in the people? Because at the end of the day, that is the only investment that's actually going to work.